for entertainment purposes only. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. Welcome again. We're going to be talking about some important things today. You know what's really been bugging me? I'm sure a lot of things are bugging you. Let's face it. We are in a cluster flock right now. Trump is, he's his usual crazy self. Talking about creating martial law. In one of my videos, the guides talked about constitutional crisis. I think we may be getting close to a constitutional crisis. Now, I don't think it's going to be a real constitutional crisis because luckily we have enough people and we have enough checks and balances, as in we have actual governors who govern states and we have generals and we have enough. The power has been disseminated across a big enough field that I feel like they will step up and do something. Even if he does trip a few, wires, these other people will stand up and say, no, that's not how we do things in America. Bye. So that's good. But I do think it's a constitutional crisis in the sense that our Constitution has been attacked and ravaged, and we need to go back and look at it and figure out how it happened. How did these things happen and what can we do to bolster it so that this doesn't happen again? And case in point, something that I'm really concerned about, worried about, are the 120, give or take, Republican U.S. Congress people that are saying that they're not supporting Biden as president, that he's not their president. I mean, that's like going into the Army, or for God's sakes, the Marines or something, and saying, no, I don't support the president. I don't support this country. I mean, that's a court martial. You're out, right? I mean, the whole point is we're in this together. And if you're running for a seat to represent the people of the United States of America, then you need to represent those people or step down. Step down. Fine. If you don't support this president, step down. That is well within your rights. Please step down. So what will happen to them? A lot of people are saying Pelosi shouldn't seat them. Pelosi should not give them the ability to be on Congress. I don't know exactly what the laws are. God only knows. We probably never even had this happen before, and we don't even have a precedent, because that's what this president is. The anti-precedent president. Whatever, custom that we've had, he's blown through it. Now we have to make ironclad laws, instead of like anti-RICO, it's going to be anti-Trump laws going forward, Oh, that was the anti-Trump law. Remember that they did that in 2021 to keep people like Trump? That you're going to have like a whole statuary. They're showing me a law book with a chapter called anti-Trump laws. I swear to God, they're showing me a law book, you guys. That's hilarious. It really isn't, but it is. Okay, I want to talk about these congressmen. Here's the thing. Somebody else, another reader mentioned this, and I'm sorry that I can't remember who it is, or I don't know where this information, it could have come from the guides. They live in my brain so symbiotically that I can't tell where this information comes from, but it's stuck. And when things stick in your brain, that's because your guides are putting a little sticky note there. If it sticks in your brain for whatever reason, that's a sticky note. That's hello, this will be important later. We're not going to let you forget this. We're going to let it pop up ever so often on your consciousness so that you can remember. Okay? So this is what happened with these Congress people. When I heard, that the Republicans, that Russia has a dossier on everybody. Let's face it. They got them on the Democrats. They got them on the Republicans. They got them on everybody. That's how they play, and then they slide a little information to you and they say, unless you want your wife, your kids, your constituents to find about X, Y, and Z, you're going to need to do some things for us. So basically, blackmail. What my guides are telling me is true. Russians do have a dossier on all of these people, and they are playing their card. So they're saying, here's my card. I've got this information on you. You're going to need to say this about Trump. You're going to need to be voting this way. Now, they're already Republicans, so they already, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that they would vote for Trump, but it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't fall in line behind a new president. That's the part that, frankly, is where sense and common sense and normalcy all separates. So what my guides are telling me is the Russians have a dossier on all these people, and you can see it if you go back and look at certain politicians, and not necessarily these House members, but if you look at certain Senate members, and Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, some people that literally had a 360-degree opinion change about Trump overnight. They went from, this guy's a scumbag, he doesn't represent the Republican Party, to being, oh my God, he's a great guy. I mean, you can't make that make sense, right? How do you make it make sense? Somebody's got your number. Somebody said, well, guess what, Mr. Ted Cruz? I've got something on you, and now you're going to be for Trump. And he was overnight. So now, the point is that the Russians own these Congress people, period. Okay? As long as these Congress people want to run for office in any way, shape, or form, they're owned. Their votes are owned by a foreign country. That's chilling. That's very chilling. Now, Russia is smart. They don't do anything. They try not to do anything overt, right? How they hacked into the cyber hacking that they recently did with Solar Winds of Texas, yay, Texas, idiots, is, it was meant to just be skimming the information. It wasn't meant to be found. It wasn't meant to be this big hack. It was meant to be just take a little bit of information. From what I know about it, the information they're taking is sort of secondary. It's not exactly the NSA or the FBI, but it is information about people that filled out security clearance forms with those agencies. So guess what? There's your dossier right there. There's your information. When the FBI investigates you for security clearance, well, of course things are going to come up on your security clearance. Oh, well, we found out he's got, an affair going over here, or he's got kids in another marriage, and whatever. And then that is fodder for the now the Russians and Republicans are becoming synonymous with me, sadly. So sadly. But what's going to happen? Nancy Pelosi is going to seat them, absolutely. She doesn't really have the evidence, all of the evidence she needs to nail them. We all know what happens when you don't go with enough evidence. You end up with Trump not being impeached, and we could argue there was enough evidence there, but you have to have a preponderance of evidence to be able to convince our crazy, the crazy Trumpers, and also the people supporting Russia Trump to vote, to move forward with the charges. Okay. So I don't think she's going to have that kind of evidence. But what I do think is going to happen, what they show me is going to happen, and it's a little bit scary what I just saw. They're calling it a dismantling. So what happens is we start to find out, once Biden gets in and we get our NSA locked down and our CIA locked down and all of our intelligence agencies really tightened back up and really, make sure that there's no interference, right? Once that happens, those Congress people, one by one, will be exposed, and they will literally be shot out of Congress. Now, that's not going to happen all at the same time, so it's not going to have the effect that we want to have. We want to have 123 Congress people ejected, is what we want to have. But what will happen is it'll be 2 here, 3 there, 5 there, 1 here, and it'll take place over the next 16 to 18 months. It'll actually continue. The majority of them will be over the next 16, 18 months, and then there'll be more that will happen as we go forward into the next 4 years. So they will go. But like everything, I think there's so much in our face as far as news goes that we won't snap to, right? That this is, listen, the Russians paid bounties on our troops. Game over. That should have been game over. That should have been sanctions, war. I mean, I'm an anti-war person. But there's some things that, I think that's where you draw the line. Paying other countries to kill our troops is one of those places where you draw the line. I'm a big military family. That's where you draw the line, folks. So if we can't draw the line there, how are we going to draw the line when they own half of Congress? So you see how this constitutional crisis is developing? That's a constitutional crisis. So anyway, getting all worked up again. So that's what's going to happen. Nancy's going to seat them. However, Nancy is no fool. Y'all know she's no fool, whether you like her, you don't like her. I vacillate back and forth myself, but she's no fool. You don't stay the House minority and the House Speaker for as long as she has and be a fool. That woman has got spies everywhere. She's got spies that spy on the spies. And she knows what these people are doing. She knows she's setting traps. She is setting traps for them. Believe me, it's her life work to get these people exposed. So she's on it, and God knows Biden and Kamala Harris will be on it. So we don't have anything to worry about, except for really that. Look, the idea that our Congress is owned by Russia, or not Congress, but the House of Representatives and some of our senators, portions of these really important institutions for us are owned by a foreign country that doesn't have our best wishes at heart. Now, I will say, Israel was caught spying last year. So, this apparently in China too. So, we're all spying on each other, I guess. But, if you get caught, you should pay some consequences. So somebody asked me to talk about Hunter Biden. I mean, look, he's not a Boy Scout. He's not a Boy Scout. He tends to react to bad situations even worse ways. So he doesn't handle stress well. He's not emotionally stable. He's going to cause some problems for Biden in the next 4 years, and potentially some pretty big faux, pows. Some pretty big things, right? But again, I don't see the problem. Look, everybody, Jimmy Carter's brother had problems. Many presidents have siblings that have problems. So it doesn't bother me. I think we're going to have so many fires, like real serious infernal fires going on in our country and in our, political landscape, that I think whatever Hunter Biden does or is tricked into doing or falls into out of just, ignorance and immaturity, I just can't get worried about it. I'm sorry, but I can't get worried about it. Oh gosh. So Ivanka and Jared, flight risk. Absolutely. Ivanka is going to pay you guys. And I know people keep seeing her pregnant. I think she's trying to get pregnant. It would be good for her in a lot of ways. Politically, I think it's a little card she could play. But I'm with you people that say, look, there's a lot of pregnant women in prison. A lot of pregnant women in prison. Don't, that's the privilege card she would be playing right there. But I think she's a flight risk. I think, she's not that smart. People think she's brilliant, but when I just saw her, I literally just saw a picture of her transferring money, wiring money, moving money to different accounts like Grand Cayman, because I don't think Sweden or that's safe anymore. I think that they've had to, and then Deutsche Bank is being investigated, so that's not safe anymore. But I see like Grand Cayman or Cayman Islands or something like that. I mean, come on, look. We have a prosecutor as a vice president. And Biden is a nice guy until you make him mad. He's mad. So good luck, Ivanka. Good luck with that. And as I said before, once we get the FBI cleared out, CIA cleared out, the NSA cleared out, the people that are left are going to be even madder because you have effed with their world. You've effed with their career. These are career FBI agents, career CIA agents that really believe in the cause. Because let's face it, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, they ask you to do some pretty shady stuff, right? It's like the mafia. Once you kill somebody, you're in. What are you going to do? So the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, those people are career oriented. They believe in the cause. They believe in what they do. They believe in justice. And they are going to be coming after these people with a vengeance. They have something to prove. They've seen their colleagues lose their jobs. They've seen their colleagues lose their retirement. They've seen their colleagues lose everything they've worked for. And let me tell you what, they have an axe to grind. They're going to go after these people like never before. I have chills right now, even talking about it. So, Ivanka and Jared and, Don Jr., Eric, all of them, are going to be mincemeat, is what I just heard. They're going to literally just mincemeat them, go through their lives and their private, public lives, like a shredder, like a paper shredder. So, but I do see, Ivanka. We've all said Ivanka will turn on her father like that. I think she will, because look, he's older. He's, she's got a young life. She's got a lot of years ahead of her and family. So if she needs to turn on him, she will. But I do see right now on December 20th that she's a flight risk. I got something interesting about Pence after the election, or after, I should say, January 20th, the happiest day of my life, that he's going to be, of course, stepping down. And after some period of time where he takes a little bit of they're telling me he hides out. I was going to say he takes a breather. They're like, no, he's hiding out. And my guides are hilarious. He'll be hiding out. Okay. He's going to be a provost, whatever that is. I don't know if that's president or I don't know, provost of a religious school. That's what his next career choice is going to be. And I don't see him doing any time. I don't see him. Look, I think he's going to be implicated, and I think people are going to call for him to do time or call for him to be investigated. But I don't see it happening. I see a lot of investigations. You know how Ken Starr investigated Clinton, or I don't even know for how many years, like 8, and found nothing, right? So I think that they'll investigate Pence, but I don't really see much coming of it, to be honest with you. There's so much on the other kids and on Trump that it's like, we'll get to you later and maybe not. Oh my God, what else did I write down? Why is Trump blocking the vaccine? Right now it's a big fight saying Trump is saying he's not blocking the vaccine, that Pfizer has some kind of snafu with their ability to send the vaccine out. And Pfizer's like, no, we don't. Excuse me, no, we don't. And Trump is like, yeah, they do. And it's ridiculous, right? So the head of the board of Pfizer came out and said, there is no reason to hold back these vaccines for the second dose. One of Trump's many excuses was, I sent 1 dose out, I'm holding back enough vaccine to meet the second dose, right? Make sure everybody has the second dose. Well, the executive board member, president said, no, you vaccinate every single person you can. We have plenty of vaccine. We'll have the backup vaccine for the second dose. That's not a problem. He said something like, cannot tell you how strongly I disagree with that. Okay. So why is Trump doing this? There's like 30 states, and they're not all red. They're not all blue states. They're not all blue states, but I bet my guides are telling me that they're linked, that they're not. Yeah, they don't look linked, right? They look disparate, right? But my guides are telling me that they're linked, that you can draw a dot all the way around those states, and you can find, if somebody took the time, and I'm sure in the next few days somebody will, that either A, they're blue, or B, if they're red states, they've made Trump mad. The governor has said something to make Trump mad. This is literally, he's withholding vaccines to states to punish them, which is exactly what he does all the time. It's either quid pro quo, Don, or Mr. Punish You, Don, one or the other, So he's punishing the states by not giving them vaccines. Y'all, this is crimes of humanity, in my opinion. This is like Hague, this is big things. I don't think Biden or Harris could come down hard enough on him. And I say Biden and Harris because they're going to be the ones directing and implementing the investigation. Of course, they're not going to be the ones doing the investigation, but I think that Biden will pass it over to prosecutor Harris, and she will oversee, along with the AG, will oversee the investigation into Trump. And then we're going to see if America has the cojones to do this. Does America have the cojones to hold this man accountable for killing people? That's the bottom line. Will America hold this man accountable to the crimes he's really committed? My guides say the jury's out on that. because you got to remember, people are still dying. The economy's getting ready to have a big, hiccup. There's a lot of things coming. There's really bad winter for some states. We're talking kind of a disaster zone kind of thing. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I see earthquakes and tsunamis over in the Pacific, over by Hawaii, and potentially affecting parts of California. There's big stuff happening, right? So, Biden, they show me Biden has literally his hands are on fire and he has to put this out before he can go do something else, right? So he might just have too much on his plate to really push for. And they just told me that you have to remember that those 120 rogue Congress people are still in Congress. They have to vote. This all has to come together as a coalition. It has to be will of the people. And those rogue Congress people are still in Congress and will still be in Congress for potentially another year. So that's going to block things that he's going to try to do because, of course, they're being controlled by Russia. Last thing about the hack I wanted to say, going back to Russia likes to not, Putin thinks he likes to do things in a very stealthy, no fingerprints way. Every once in a while he gets caught, poisons somebody, he gets caught, but he really, really likes to not have his fingerprints on things because guess what? When you get caught, you get sanctions. When you get caught, you get punished. And he doesn't need that. He's already struggling. His country is struggling right now with the virus and with sanctions and trade and everything. So Putin has this data, this nice little ransom data. What my guides told me was he was going to sell that data to rogue countries like Iran, Afghanistan, even Qatar, even like Saudi Arabia or different Middle Eastern countries. Even I just heard the word Taliban. And he has so much data that he can sell it forever. He can sell like a little piece a day and never run out because actually he's still getting that data. Did you guys know that? They're not able to close those breaches. That's going to take a year or more to close the breaches, to really close them. So the reason I'm telling you this is because they told me, I don't know if you guys are this video is getting too long. Do you guys remember or do you guys know that sometimes hackers hack into hospitals? It happened not too long ago. They hacked into a hospital and they took control of the systems, including the internet and all of the systems that run the hospital. And they held it ransom. And they said, you pay us or else their systems are down. We're talking about the whole hospital. Everything went down. Everything. Everything that runs off the internet, everything that runs off their local intranet. And they had to pay it. And they went to Trump and Trump said, that's your problem. You need to figure it out. That's not my problem. That's not the country's problem. That's your problem. Right? But it is the country's problem because these people are big other countries attacking us. So that's what they show that's going to happen is that you'll have attacks on the grid. Like right now, everybody's like, oh, well, they've had this information for 6 months and nobody's attacked our electrical grid. Well, again, that's what I'm telling you. Putin, must be synonymous. Putin is not going to do that. He's not a fool. He doesn't want us to blow his butt up. He will sell it to somebody who doesn't care, who's got nothing to lose, like the Taliban, whoever. And then they will attack the power grid and hold America hostage. Not a hospital, but America. Okay? So these are the things that are out there. These are all the different energies in play. If you know anything about psychic abilities, I read the energy that's prevalent right now. My guides are telling me the energy that's prevalent right now. We all have free will. If Biden comes in and threatens Putin and says, I know you have this data, and I'm telling you that in the next 4 or 8 years, if something happens, I don't care if I trace it back to the Taliban, I'm coming after you because I know you had it. Okay. So if Biden does something like that, then maybe Putin doesn't sell the stuff to the Taliban, right? So can you see how free will has a play in this? But this is what is active right now. Right now, Putin is offloading this stuff. Of course, he's collecting the data because he likes the dossier. That's what he really wants. He doesn't care about our electrical grid. He doesn't want to go to war with us. He can't afford to go to war with us. So, but he wants that data, the information for the dossier on, so that he can basically ransom, blackmail people that he then has under his control. These other things like how to break into our nuclear codes, I don't want that. Sell that to the Taliban. They'll do something with it. You know, so that's what's going on. Now, again, not to scare you, forewarned is forearmed. Luckily for all of us, we have Biden and Harris coming in 20 days or 30 days. But regardless of what happens, guys, regardless of what happens, okay, we have been given a chance. We have been given a chance to make it all right, to fix it, to fix this karma, to choose the right things, to go to the light, to go to high road. Okay, we've been given this chance. How do we do it? How do we take our chance? How do we use what they've given us to go the high road? What we do is, first of all, we send positive energy out. We've got to go into 2021 with more positive energy. We are dragging, having been locked up for a year, having been beat down for a year, having been scared for a year, into 2021. We don't need to do that. Let's not do it. 2021 is going to have some challenges, but let's go in there knowing that we've got a chance, guys. We've got a fighting chance. We've got Biden, we've got Harris. I really think the Senate's going to be 50-50, so we've even got that chance, okay? We have brighter times ahead. We really do. We have brighter times ahead. All we have to do is work towards them. What does that mean? Lifting your own vibration. Get outside. For those of you that live in the lower half of this country, this is our season. It's not 100 degrees outside, or maybe 150, depending on where you live. Go outside. For you guys in the north, go outside anyway you're used to it. You live in snow and ice. It's like that's your land. Go outside. It'll help your spirit, okay? Sun is wonderful. Go outside. Even if it's dark, go outside. Walk a dog. Go outside in the park. Lift your spirits. Because by lifting our spirits, we lift the country. We lift, our whole country comes up, okay? Find something to be grateful for. Grateful. Find something to be grateful for. I didn't even know why I put this shirt on. Guess why I put this shirt on? They're so smart. Anyway, I hope you guys are well. I've talked to so many of you that are really in a dark place right now. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we have good things coming. Listen, after the economy does a little tumble, it's going to get up and run. It's going to get up and run. Biden is going to shoot it with some adrenaline. He really is. New jobs, local jobs, United States jobs, jobs that pump money back into the country. Okay? It's going to happen. We just have to keep our eye on the horizon. Okay? Try and stay uplifted. Try everything you can. Listen to music. Get house plants so you have something to tend during the winter. Keeping a house plant alive helps you focus on the now instead of getting lost in weeks going by, right? Weeks go by and Netflix goes by. Get a house plant. Keep it alive. Pay more attention to your pets. Focus on the now. It'll help you get through this, okay? Sending you all my best, everybody. If you need a reading, I'm available for you. I can help you come out with a plan that will help you get through this time and hopefully get your best foot forward into the new year. I'll be doing more videos just to keep you apprised of what's going on. And I really appreciate you joining me. Please consider subscribing. Welcome to our big community, our little big community, the little engine that could. I really appreciate it. I love your comments. Thank you so much. And I just want to tell you, I'm sending you so much love and light. Okay? Everybody take care and we'll talk soon.